Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It is Memorial Day here in the United States, which is a day where we're supposed to remember fallen soldiers and honor them. And so we get a day off from work. And it's actually about like 8 o'clock at night right now because it's been one of those days off where I got so lost in stuff that I forgot that I had to record. And I just realized I still have not turned the exposure down on the camera, so we're still overexposed. I got really super lost in myself today and ended up doing a whole lot of things. And I can't show you most of that. I had to be kind of careful with today's framing because there's something on the bench I cannot show you yet. I will show you someday. It is a gift for somebody, and I don't want that to be seen. But it was it was one of those busy days where I woke up. I had some cool ideas that I worked on in the morning. Notes and thoughts and that sort of stuff. I came down here because I've completely 100% finished the router cabinet this weekend, and I put it in place I think yesterday. But then I had there was I don't know if you remember, there was a weird, I don't know what it was, some sort of stand thing that I put together from some scraps I found that was like my quote outfeed support, and it sat behind the table saw, and it was basically just open cubbies and shelves, and it just got stuff thrown in it, like tools stuffed in it, and it was garbage, and I hated it. It didn't sit level. It was weird. So the design for my router table was always intended to be my outfeed table, like it's a dual purpose router table and outfeed table. So I got it set up. I tore down the other thing completely, pulled all the stuff out of it, and it was all sitting here on the bench. And so this morning my goal was to come down here and get everything put in its place. And so I got all the tools separated. I have little cubbies over here underneath my sanders, and a lot of the tools got put there. And then the drawers on the router cabinet started to fill up because I've got plenty of stuff to go in there. So I worked on that, and then I worked on this project. This project that's on the bench that I can't show you is kind of the reason that I wanted to build the router table. It's a project that's... I started it like 2 or 3 years ago. It was maybe 4 years ago. It was a project... It was probably at least 4 years ago. It was a project that I wanted to try some new techniques, and so I got a router template made for myself and was going to work on making this thing. And so I know this is really vague. It ended up just sitting, and last year I found a good reason to finish it as a gift. And so, but at that point I had already torn my router cabinet apart. I had an old bench top. I hated it. So I tore it apart. So anyway, all of that to say is part of the reason I wanted this thing done, this router table done, was so that I could work on this project. Because I have kind of a deadline, like a self-imposed deadline. So I came down today after cleaning, and I got that project basically done. It's in finish right now. It's going to be screwed together, and then it's done. And then I don't have to... I need to put like 1 or 2 more coats of finish on it first, and then it's screwed together, and then it's done. And then I did this. I can show you this. I made myself... I told you guys I've been thinking... Well, did I tell you about this? Well, that paint wasn't dry. I knew it wasn't, but I decided to clamp it anyway. For some reason, today was... it was like 90 degrees here, but my spray paint that I used earlier was taking forever to dry. I don't know what was up with that. Oh well. I made myself a clapboard. Like a like a little movie clapboard. A little teeny tiny one, just for me to use for some personal projects. The point for this for me is not necessarily the clap. I don't often use it. I'm sorry if that's super loud. I don't often use external sound. I'm usually capturing sound in camera. I don't really rely on exterior sound. So this is more about the visual. If you've ever shot a project, especially like an extensive project where you have, maybe even you have multiple cameras running, or you have, you know, just lots of little shots, lots and lots of little shots, it can become really annoying to search through that footage on a computer and try to find the shots you're looking for. And so for me, this is a functional prop in that shooting those kind of projects, I can write on here, and then, you know, when I press record on the camera, I'm holding this up to the screen. So the idea is this will be very prominent and it'll be close, and that will allow me to have on here what I'm shooting and where this is in the sequence. So when I'm looking on my computer, it's really easy to see where I'm at. So I made this today just kind of as not a gag. I mean, it's going to serve a functional purpose, but I made it just kind of on a whim, just to be silly. So I think it turned out pretty cool. It's this size because that was the size of a piece of 1/2-inch plywood that I have, and I wasn't willing to cut up a sheet of plywood just to make a silly little thing like this. I searched around for like a jig I could tear apart or something that I had a piece of flat 1/2-inch plywood. I did not have any, so I just ended up saying, screw it, I will make it with what I've got, and this just happens to be the piece of plywood that I had. So it's a little miniature clapboard, but hopefully it'll serve its purpose well. And yeah, so that's been my day. That's been my weekend. I mean, I guess I didn't really tell you. I finished the router table. It's complete, done. It's got a power strip on the back. I included the baffle for the dust collection. All my tools are plugged into that power strip now, so I don't have to keep unplugging an extension cord. The drawers are filled. I filled up the bit storage drawer with a technique I learned from a channel called Keith's Test Garage. Highly recommend that channel if you're into optimizing workflow in a workshop. But I had a super crazy busy weekend and a super crazy busy day, and that's why we're late today. So what did you do this weekend, this day? Do anything exciting? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is mellifluous. Mellifluous. I can't say that. It is an adjective meaning music, speech, or other sound that is sweet and pleasant to listen to. The mellifluous tones of his voice brought Martin many high-paying gigs for voiceovers. Mellifluous. Melliflous. That I cannot say. Melodious would be the word I would use. Screw mellifluous. That's a stupid word.